How do you spell Hermaeus Moore? AUS weird, like house. I I don't even know what to put as the title now that I've got that written. Uh, That'll do. That'll go. Done. Oh. Oh. Did I close that? Alrighty. And we're good. Level 11, almost level 12. Dark Raiden kind of bankrolled us a stupid amount this morning with crafting that. I think, talking about net worth, I might have gained a couple of million septums worth of gear this morning. She'd already given us 400 moonstone. The chicken, I don't suppose, was super expensive, but buying it premium from the grocer cost 150 from what I can tell from all the vegetables. So 400 chicken at $150 each. I'm assuming that's if you're just farming it. It's free. But then the yeast. I'd like to know where to get a stable supply of yeast. There has to be a farm somewhere you can just get all of these barley yeast materials. Huh. When we left off, we were going to go into this building here and have a look at all, see if we could find a cure.
Sorry, Mender. It's closed for cleaning. Don't worry, I'll let you know when it's open again. Shouldn't be long.
Should we know that voice? I don't know. Everything says steel. Ugh. Although, I suppose just because, wow. Why does that pipe look like it's positioned super weird? But I suppose just because the healer isn't here doesn't mean she works for the manor. The manor owner is still present. A journal. Mysterious cave. That's not ominous in the slightest. 11 days ago, several patients appeared unusually tired and ill at ease. Strangely enough, they all complained about bad dreams. Dreams is Namina's domain, but I still feel like Hermaeus Mora is at play here. Again, this is assuming it isn't just going to be some boring political plot again, because it's a neutral manor. "7 days ago, something is definitely not right. Nearly half of the patients now suffer from fatigue and anxiety. Thoughts of terrifying nightmares are now commonplace. Some sort of contagious fever or something else. I know I've seen something like this before, but where? One Nord soldier who was suffering greatly from his mysterious affliction is now missing. I fear he may have harmed himself. 5 days ago, 2 more patients are missing, but I think I know what's going on here. These soldiers are suffering from the onset of vampirism. Cyrodiilic vampirism in High Isle? I don't know if there's ever been established lore on whether any other form of vampirism causes nightmares. Or even, honestly, I don't even think they've established if it's contagious the same way that Cyrodiilic vampirism is. There's a lot of stuff in Darkest Darkness that explains them more like beasts than men. Two more patients are missing. The symptoms are mild, but the sleeplessness, the lassitude, and the feelings of dread and fearfulness all fit. But there are no vampires in the manor, I am certain of it. Alexis Virulane is not convinced. He believes the physical symptoms are simply lack of sleep caused by the patient's terrible experiences in the war. He recommends bed rest. 4 days ago, I can't wait for Alexis to recognize what is going on here. I'm preparing small doses of an elixir that counters the symptoms of early stage vampirism. We'll see if that helps. The missing patients now number 7. If it is again, assuming it's Cyrodiilic vampirism, any cure disease before it actually develops into proper, full-blown vampirism. Or you become a vampire, it is simply a disease, turning you into one, and cure disease works on that stage of the process. If patients here are not yet vampires, and we're dealing with Cyrodiilic vampirism, then any old cure disease. You know what's fascinating, actually? I don't think I've seen a cure disease potion at all in the second area. I don't know disease is even a thing in the game. Considering it's meant to be a race trait of the Argonians, I guess they just get the poison resist. As I suspected, the anti-vampirism elixir provided immediate relief to those patients I treated. I do not think the condition has been cured, however. I must brew a stronger potion with fresh ingredients. I have most of what I need here on the grounds, but I'll need some harpy feathers for the antidote. Fortunately, colonies of harpies nest in the hills west of the manor. We'll set out at first light.
Hey, you almost done in there? I can't keep this up forever.
Oh, that's the guy out the front. Why whispering? We got the key.
Ah, there you are. Find anything? I can't believe that mender fell for the old closed for cleaning line. Well, did you find anything?
Why were you hovering? We had a key. We were allowed in there.
Can I see it? This is Rosalind's, all right. An illness related to vampirism? I might not have any more book learning than you need to swing a sword, but I think I would have noticed a vampire hanging around. What's going on here?
Well, as important as she seemed to find a cure either way.
I can see that. And look, here's something about harpy feathers. If Rosalind went looking for harpy nests, maybe we should too. She says the nests are nearby. Shouldn't be hard to find.
Alrighty.
Beware of the harpies. They can be vicious. I'd go with you, but I don't dare leave the patients alone with the menders, or with each other. Not if they're fighting off some kind of vampire sickness.
Well, we will return, so I'm gonna hold off on that cure for Tanilin. We're gonna go find the harpies. The second one. Bakara Valaris. People have been poured. We sent an order, wreck the ships carrying the Alliance leaders to High Isle, but we're not washed ashore. Lady Arabelle believes the best chances of finding the missing delegates is to investigate the order and learn what's behind this. I should report to Lord Bakar and tell him what became of his retainers. I see, that's the other mission. Well, that one. This one first. Sets us west.
This work isn't going to do itself.
While we're on our journey, I'm actually going to bring up a copy of Darkest Darkness, because I'm curious if they say anything about High Isle vampirism. Darkest Darkness. Is this the wrong book? This is on Daedra, Worship. What's the book called then? How much storage space we do? Okay, so it's not Darkest Darkness. I actually got the book wrong. No worries, Tone. Thank you for the raid. Bringing everyone in with you. Ooh, river fishing. We have 28 river bait, lake bait. Big bait, river bait. Oh. Would you
Maybe
be
if
quiet?
fish didn't stink so bad, I'd find this more enjoyable.
Put you back in your going away area. Goodbye. I want to fish in peace without being told that it's boring. I know it's boring. Look at you! Didn't realize you were still here. Fishing wouldn't be so bad if there was more to do besides just wait. If I could do something else, like bob and weave and dip and dive with the lure, it'd be great. You just sit here, you wait, and when the thing moves, you press E. We got a green fish. Does that mean there's a chance to get better quality fish at all of these fishing places? I'm also gonna have to look up this book. I'm gonna do it on my phone instead of in Steam browser. Instruction. Ah! Oh, there's a book I'm about to look at. Vampires of Vardenfell, Volume 1, Volume 2. They have their own book on it. Let's try Oblivion. Is it in instructions and research? Mortal Blood. There it is. Written by an anonymous author. The moons and stars were always hidden from sight. Making that particular... The moons and stars were hidden from sight, making that particular quiet night especially dark. The town guard had to carry torches to make their rounds. The man who came to call at my chapel carried no light with him. I came to learn that Mobile Queen could see in the dark almost as well as the light. An excellent talent, considering his interests were exclusively nocturnal. One of the acolytes brought him to me, and from the look of him, I at first thought he was in need of healing. He was pale to the point of opalescent, with a face that looked like it had once been very handsome before some unspeakable suffering. The dark circles under his eyes bespoke exhaustion. The eyes themselves were alert, intense, almost insane. He quickly dismissed my notion that he himself was ill, though he did want to discuss a specific disease. Vampirism, he said, then paused at my quizzical look. I was told you were someone I should seek out for help understanding it. Who told you that? I asked with a smile. Sina Gray. I immediately remembered her. A brave, beautiful knight who had needed my assistance separating fact from fiction on the subject of the vampire. It had been 2 years, and I had never heard whether my advice had proved effective. You've spoken to her? How is her ladyship? I asked. Ed, Morbarth replied coldly. And then, responding to my shock, he added to perhaps soften. That your advice was invaluable, at least for the one vampire. When I last talked to her, she was tracking another. I killed her. Then the advice I gave her was not enough, I sighed. Why do you think it would be enough for you? I was a teacher once myself years ago, he said. Not in a university. Trainer in the Fighters Guild. But I know that if a student doesn't ask the right questions, the teacher cannot be responsible for his failure. I intend to ask you the right questions. And that he did. For hours he asked questions, and I answered what I could. But he never volunteered any information about himself. He never smiled. He only studied me with those intense eyes of his, committing every word I said to memory. Finally, I turned, questioning around. You said you were a trainer at the Fighters Guild. Are you on an assignment for them? No, he said curtly, and I could detect some weariness in those feverish eyes of his. I would like to continue this tomorrow night, if I could. I need to get some sleep and absorb this. You sleep during the day, I smiled. To my surprise, he returned the smile. Though it was more of a grimace. When tracking your prey, they tend to adapt their habit. The next day, he did return with more questions. These ones were very specific. He wanted to know about the vampires of Eastern Skyrim. I told him of the most powerful tribe, the Volkihar, paranoid and cruel, whose very breath could freeze their victims' blood in their veins. I explained to him how they lived beneath the ice of remote and haunted lakes, never venturing into the world of men except to feed. Rodolph the Queen listened carefully and asked more questions into the night until at last he was ready to leave. I will not see you for a few days, he said, but I will return, tell you how helpful your information has been. True to his word, the man returned to my chapel shortly after midnight 4 days later. There was a fresh scar on his cheek, and he was smiling that grim but satisfied smile of his. Your advice helped me very much, he said, but you should know that the Volkihar have an additional ability you didn't mention. They can reach through the ice of their lakes without breaking it. It was quite a nasty surprise, being grabbed from below without any warning. How remarkable, I said with a laugh. And terrifying. You're lucky you survived. That's a harpy right there. We're just gonna sit here and finish the book real quick. We're 2/3 of the way through. You're lucky you survived. I don't believe in luck. I believe in knowledge and training. Your information helped me, and my skill at melee combat sealed the bloodsucker's fate. I've never believed in weaponry of any kind. Too many unknowns. Even the best swordsmith has created a flawed blade, but you know what your body is capable of. I know I can land 1,000 blows without losing my balance, provided I get the first strike. First strike, I murmured, so you must never be surprised. That is why I came to you, said Morbarth. You know more than anyone alive about these monsters, in all their cursed varieties across the land. Now you must tell me about the vampires of Northern Valenwood. I did as he asked, and once again, his questions taxed my knowledge. There were many tribes to cover. Bonsami who were indistinguishable from Bosma, except when seen by candlelight. The Kirill, who could disintegrate into mist. The Yaketh, who swallowed men whole. The dread Teleboth, who preyed on children, eventually taking their place in the family, waiting patiently for years before murdering them all in their unnatural hunger. Once again, he bade me farewell, promising to return in a few weeks, and once again, he returned as he said, just after midnight this time. My bath had no fresh scars. He again had new information. You were wrong about the Karilth being unable to vaporize when pushed underwater, he said, patting my shoulder fondly. Fortunately, they cannot travel far in their mist form, and I was able to track it down. Must have surprised it fearfully. Your field knowledge is becoming impressive, I said. I should have had an acolyte like you decades ago. Now tell me, he said, of the vampires of Cyrodiil. I told him what I could. There was but one tribe in Cyrodiil, a powerful clan who had ousted all other competitors, much like the Imperials themselves had done. Their true name was unknown, lost in history, but they were experts in concealment. They kept themselves well fed. They were indistinguishable from living persons. They were cultured, more civilized than the vampires of the provinces, preparing to feed on victims while they were asleep, unaware. It would be difficult to surprise, Morbarth frowned, but I will seek one out and tell you what I learn. And then you will tell me of the vampires of High Rock, Hammerfell, Elsewhere, Blackmarsh, Morrowind, and the Somerset Isles, yes? I'm sad to get to this point in the book because it means that we'll continue. I nodded, knowing then that this was a man on an eternal quest. He wouldn't be satisfied with but the barest hint of how things were. He needed to know it all. He did not return for a month, and on the night that he did, I could see his frustration and despair, though there were no lights burning in my chapel. Failed, he said. Candle. You were right. Could not find a single one. I brought the light up to my face and smiled. He was surprised, even stunned by the pallor of my flesh, the dark hunger in my ageless eyes, and the teeth. Yes, I think the teeth definitely surprised the man who could not afford to be surprised. I haven't fed in 72 hours, I explained, as I fell on him. He did not land the first blow, or the last. That second to last paragraph there. You were telling me of Vampires of High Rock. We never read them. I do wish that book went into it a bit more, but that does mean, as far as I understand, High Rock vampirism could be a complete blank slate in the lore. I don't know if there's any other reference to them. Well, off to kill some harpies. Never mind. Harpy's gone and there's a dead wolf here instead. Gurning in the skeleton. Why is that eye socket so massive? Lord, I'll hide 3 rawhide scraps, a petty glyph of shock, too. Isn't an Argonian tale again? Alright. Well. So what did the vampirism book cover? Skyrim, Vardenfell, and was that it? Skyrim, Vardenfell, and Cyrodiil. It's Vardenfell. Oh, is it Vardenfell? Valenwood, not Vardenfell. The Vampires of Valenwood, Skyrim, and Cyrodiil were the 3 in the book that were described. Scarlet gloves. Well, I've just read up on what we might be dealing with and sadly come short. We're going blind. What is a death hound? Is this what the vampirism is? Resident Evil style, where it rids the body of its host and takes over like a parasite. Should we read another book? I've taught people to read with the shins, but why not? Let's force it on people. We're gonna read with the shins. If you haven't read it by now, we weren't going to. I don't know how much bait we have left, but this is about a 10-minute book, so here we go. It's story time number 2 while we fish. It's not a bad way to spend a day, really. Yakut Tawashi. Alright, said Kazaga. Why don't you want to talk? Zaki put down his mug of mead and just stared at his wife for a few seconds. Finally, grudgingly. Because everything I have a conversation, darling. It flows in alphabetical order. Just like I told you. I think the only way to stop it is to not talk at all. Wouldn't you just be imagining this? Said Kazaga patiently. Wouldn't be the first time you had an insane paranoid delusion. Remember when you thought the royal batter mage of Blackmarsh was hiding behind every tree with lewd intent? Intent on making you, middle-aged fat boning tailor, into his personal slave? You don't need to be ashamed, but it's sheer Gora's way to make us all a little crazy sometimes. You go to the damn it, Kazaga, snarled Zaki, and stomped out, slamming the door behind him. He nearly collided with... Fishing spot's gone already. Not even halfway through. Short-lived. Oh well. Didn't last very long. We'll read with the shins some other time. There's also a soul stone over there. I'm gonna quickly jog over and pick up the soul stone. That's just a giant bat. Right. A tremendous journal. Few pages torn from a journal of Minda Rosalind. Harpies seem agitated. Could the manner of affliction be affecting them as well? Or does their aggressiveness have another cause? Recovered suitable harpy feathers, but lost my gloves somewhere around here. Hurriedly scribbled additional entry. Headed back towards the manor when I sighted a strange black hound in the woods. I don't think it saw me, but I had to retreat. It surely wasn't native to this environment. Supernatural. Also spotted giant bats. Cave entrance across the stream. Maybe the hounds and the bats came there. Could it be a vampire lair? Oh, she left the harpy feathers. Why are we going in the cave, by the way? And also, how is the disease spreading? If it really is vampirism, be it related to vampiric hemophilia or not, how is it actually spreading? A vampiric rat somewhere in the manor spreading the disease. Ah, the rat's just chilling. Look at him go. Hello, bud. Order. I think that one's like. Wrong button. Get away. Weird. The eyes eaten out. A structure down here. Blood fiend? Is it actually just vampires? Keep pressing 3 instead of 4. Oh yeah, and I don't have Ember. I'm not fishing anymore, Ember. You can come back out.
Ember the Sorcerer, reporting for duty.
So those things were feeding on a bat. Good lord. Coagulant? The living pile of blood. That is a creepy ass animation.
Don't mess with a street kid. Watch out, everyone. This adventure isn't slowing down anytime soon.
Piglin. So, it's clearly something sentient. Oh! Oh! That's 3. 4. How many times do I gotta press 4? I don't even know if I was meant to go this way. Oh. 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 Well, I mean...
Let's go.
I will feast on your flesh.
Oh, Lord. Cease.
Your blood smells sweet. I think I'll have a taste. I will have my vengeance.
Heroine sees deck fragments. Fragments. Not collected. Okay. Oh, hello, hello. No.
I just fell out. Nothing's moving.
Spun globs of health. Yeah. Probably still less armor than what I got 10 levels ago. It'd be nice if you could cast before you looked at someone. I want to see if I can look at them cast and... No. Maybe because she's full health, it has a smart targeting system. You have to look at them the whole time? I mean, stuff like that is going to be super important if I actually start joining people in raids. I need to know targeted heals like that. He's back already?
I will feast on your flesh. Blood smells sweet. I think I'll have a taste. I will have my vengeance.
Continuing on. Oh my word. What is this place? We have 19 slots free. This sounds more ferocious than half the things we've been fighting. I wasn't meant to aim for that. I didn't realize there was a rat there. What? That's sus. Why does that icon appear when I get close to it? Reanimated cat. That's... I'm getting mixed messages here. Reanimation is necromancy. Which, I suppose... This is the ladder back up to the herbalist at the manor. That ladder goes straight to the herbalist place.
Hello? Please help me.
Suppose that's the healer. You think Lord Bacano is innocent? Culprit. When you have an eternity to live a life, does it make sense that a lot of vampires end up in high place. They can accrue wealth over millennia. They can know contacts over generations.
You're not Verlaine. My name is Seraphine. I am what you see, although I long to be free of this curse. What are you doing in this awful place?
Alright. So it's definitely vampirism? Or she's just very hungover with super bloodshot eyes. But at the same time, there's a reanimated cat in one of the coffins. I mean, it's not out of the question for a vampire to practice necromancy. Especially considering necromancy isn't even illegal yet. To my knowledge, I don't think it was outlawed until Mage's Trivan in the Third Era. I'm assuming that the person back on that table is Rosalind.
Rosalind? She tried to free me, but Verlaine returned and overpowered her. This is his laboratory. He experiments on me, hoping he can use my blood to heal the wounded. It's madness. I'm afraid he drugged Rosalind with my blood.
Why?
My blood, my strain of this curse, induces deep dreaming. When I bite someone, they later fall into a deep sleep with horrific nightmares. A concentrated dose of my blood has the same effect immediately. I hate what my hunger does.
Meant that Rosalind infected.
She sleeps in the next chamber, but soon she'll awake with my curse. There's a vial of my blood in the laboratory across the hall. We can use it to create an antidote. Release me, please?
Why is the only option very well, I'll open the cage? Under what pretense do we have to trust this person? It's either never finish the quest, or just agree to let a vampire out of a cage. Those are my two options. Never finish the quest, or agree to let a vampire out. It's fine, this isn't the character that's... Sense. This is the
Thank
level
you.
character.
I need a moment to recover my strength. Verlaine's notes are in the laboratory if you need help with the antidote. I'll meet you at Rosalind's side. I haven't fed in a long time, and I shouldn't be alone with her.
Danger. What? So... trying to make a cure or what? An unfortunate development has occurred. Rosalind discovered the laboratory. I had no choice but to sedate her with a large dose of the subject's blood. I'm simply too close to success to suspend my experiments now. While the circumstances are regrettable, Rosalind's case may provide new insights. To date, I have administered diluted doses of the subject's blood to patients who drink. Symptoms appear slowly over several days, as one would expect. However, Rosalind's dosage rendered her unconscious at once. Rosalind's condition can be managed for a time, but is certain to develop into full vampirism. Fortunately, science suggests a simple antidote: an extract of harpy feathers mixed with a sample of subject's blood and a few other alchemical reagents. Why would, if the blood does this to them, why are they giving them blood cure? I mean, there's real life examples. Certain things reacting and negating. I must administer the antidote to Rosalind soon. Then what? reports this incident to Lord Bacaro, it can only end in panic and recrimination. I could hardly allow the foolish overreaction to impede my research. Not when I am so close. For what? Circles, circles, Sundus Max. Lessons learned guarding caravans by Big Dolan. 1. Bring plenty of liquids to drink, even more than you think, 'cause it's hot as hell fire out there. 2. Wear a hat or you'll get dizzy again and fall down like you're drunk. 3. Don't tease the dune rippers, they're really fast. 4. Don't leave your kebabs on the ground. Even on a clean, flat rock, there's ants. 5. A jackal won't play fetch. That's a good book. I appreciate that. Song of Pelennor Whitestrake, Volume 5. And that's apparently the whole room. Oh. Ah. Let me help. Worth it. Well, that is something wrong. Mix the cure. Do we have to mix the cure in here? Oh, apparently so. Synthesize cure. I actually thought the vampire had run off, though my suspicions were always going to be justified. Oh, he may still have run off.
Oh, my head. Who are you? Did Seraphim send you?
What could Seraphim have sent me? Speaking of, he's awkwardly walking into the room now. I feel comfortable with a vampire in the room.
Who are you, stranger? And where am I? What's happened?
Master Healer Verlaine drugged you, and you've been sleeping. That's putting it lightly. Should we open with vampirism, necromancy, a dead skeletal cat in a coffin? I mean, there's 1,000 more things than that one sentence that you could say.
Verlaine? Surely you're joking. Why would... Wait, it's coming back to me. I was looking for harpy feathers in the forest, but a blood fiend attacked me. I fled into this cave and I found Seraphim here in a cage, but then... Oh, my head.
Lord knows what he's actually trying to do with these experiments. He didn't write anything in his book about the outcomes or his intent. Just the method he's using to try and experiment with.
That's horrible. No wonder I noticed traces of vampirism. Yes, vampire blood can speed recovery, but it's very risky. I know Verlaine thought our methods were slow, but still. We must confront him. Together, if Seraphim's willing.
You would actually take a vampire above ground and talk to Lord Bacaro with it.
Oh, thank you. My mind is a little foggy yet. We should head back immediately. I have to check on my patients, and perhaps add Seraphim to them. I think I can cure her if that's what she wants.
Could also do that way more safely from the cage.
I'm so glad it worked. Is she going to be all right?
I'm confused. What are the symptoms prior to using the blood? Is it just dreams? Is it just bad dreams? Because this lady said she has people induced in crazy ass dreams. So what is the actual experiment? Because the other lady seems to think he's innocent trying to cure people. But that doesn't line up. Either the patients had the symptoms of the blood or the symptoms of something else. But they're describing the same thing happening. That's what I'm not catching up with yet. But what do you
At
want to
least
do?
I finally did something good with this curse of mine. I hope she takes down that monster Verlaine and makes him pay for all this. I'm so angry I could rip his throat out. No, that's my curse, not me. I need to end this somehow.
Is High Rock? I think High Rock does come with the up. Well, apparently we're taking you up into the sun. And you're gonna talk with either Verlaine or Akaro? I don't know.
Of course I'll help. Anything to bring that monster down. Even if it means allowing others to see what I am.
I know the game does a lot of NPC
All right,
teleporting stuff.
I'll make my way there. Sometimes Verlaine said that the mere sight of my eyes unnerved him. Well, he's seen nothing yet.
I will put you down if you try to hurt him. I know the game's not good. Probably even get a bounty for fighting a vampire. Heaven forbid.
Rosalind, right? I am so sorry about this. If I hadn't been so weak, I would have...
Everything's going to be fine. Come to the manor. Perhaps I can help you.
Help me? I'm cursed. There's nothing to be done.
There are things we can try. Let's talk on the way.
I know the game does a lot of teleport character NPC to location. They'll probably stay there in that chamber. And then when I go up to the manor, they'll be in the room somewhere. There will be no point where the vampire actually has to traverse outside in the sun. Normally, this would be the point where the game says we'll meet at midnight. Or, you know, after dark. Or say some arbitrary time-based objective, qualification, quantifier. Alright. They're not just gonna actually have her straight up be outside, are they? Maybe High Rock vampirism is immune to sunlight. Talk to Lord Bacaro Valorous. Down below. Okay. Go upstairs first.
I suppose that...
Do you think garlic works universally for all the forms of vampirism in Tamriel? Garlic seems to work on Cyrodiilic. Would you like
Crush
to
the
do it
leaf
too?
and give her the juice. If she wakes up, we can tell her about her share of the bill. It worked! She's awake! I was a little worried that she might be dead.
Well, you might be yet.
surely death would be more preferable to this. Still, I thank you for waking me. I was having the most horrific dreams. Who are you again?
Ooh, do you have vampirism as well? My name is Adult, fully grown child elder, and I'm helping Rigotte. Happened last night.
In the spirit of cultural bridge building, I joined Olga Nash and Rigotte for dinner. A routine exchange, but Rigotte ordered food and drinks all night long. Why? What's going on?
Innkeeper says no one paid the bill. Even though Rigotte claimed he would be the one to pay the bill, he's now trying to force you to pay.
Oh, I'm afraid I have no idea if I paid or not. I don't even remember leaving the inn. It's entirely possible that I forgot to contribute toward the bill in my condition. What in the world did I have to drink?
Meth?
Oh my goodness, that's disgusting. No wonder I got sick. I promise I'll return to the inn and settle up soon. Now, if you'll excuse me, all of a sudden, I'm not feeling so good.
I look at...
A diplomatic success. Now, let us return to
Beautiful.
the inn and settle this.
How did that sound like your dialogue got cut off? And also, you're in the doorway. Can you not be in the door?
We should go back to the inn.
Nailed it.
I had to do it, Roslyn. It was the only way to guarantee their recovery.
You were poisoning them, Alexis. Look around you.
Oh, I suppose you're here to fling more baseless accusations at me, too. Who are you to speak against me? What do you know of the work I do here?
So, you have a skeletal cat below your apothecary.
Such smugness. You may get rid of me, but doing so will spell doom for dozens of those poor souls out there. My methods were unconventional, yes, but they would have worked.
Why didn't they?
The regrettable means to a greater end. The vampire will live forever, but those people outside won't. If one suffers so that many more can go on to lead full lives, what of it? I could have saved hundreds, no, thousands more.
From what? What are you saving them from? As far as I can tell, the only symptoms the people here ever had were of the vampirism.
In time, I would have perfected it. In time, it would have been safe. Sometimes we have to make hard choices. How can you not understand that? I'm done talking. Do what you will with me, but I'll be proven right. You'll see.
You still don't even...
Unbelievable. I guessed it was something like that, but still. Let's talk, adventurer. So let me make sure I've got this right. Vera Lane's been dosing our patients with vampire blood as some sort of medical experiment? And he was ready to kill Rosalind to cover it up? You've got proof, right?
Well... if you can confirm Vera Lane's notes, then yes, we have handwriting. Dungeon. I mean, a weird, creepy dungeon. And I guess if you want to trust the vampire, go for it.
Nightmares, abductions, mad experiments.
Honestly?
Vera Lane has much to answer for.
How
Thank
silly
you,
is it?
adventurer. We're doing good work here, and because of you, we can start again and do it right.
How
The
silly
Society
is
of the
it?
Steadfast
Oh, you know.
is in your debt.
Imagine from this guy's point of view, where he finds out that everyone has been afflicted with vampirism, and that we're blaming the lead medic, and then all of a sudden, there's actually a vampire that lives in the caves just west of the manor. Wouldn't your immediate assumption be that the vampire is the one causing the vampirism? Not the healer? I mean, I guess if it weren't for Rosalind's testimony being able to confirm what is his name? Valerius? If his handwriting is able to be confirmed, then I suppose you have a little bit of incrimination. It's fascinating how against what I expect to happen is actually happening. They're just taking the word of a vampire when everyone's got vampirism. Surely she'd be the #1 suspect before this guy, even with testimony and slight circumstantial evidence.
Thanks to you, I think these soldiers may actually see their families again. And maybe they'll take the lessons of this manor and do their part in bringing the war to an end one day.
Still want to know what Valerius was trying to cure, because the symptoms of vampirism and what the people were having apparently as that disease seemed to be the exact same list of symptoms. I don't know what you plan to do now. Apparently you trust the vampire over your own lead medic, but...
My work here is just beginning. My body's been healed for some time now, I guess. But now I think something in my spirit needed to be here too, helping others. Is it strange to say I don't really want to leave? Alexis Viralane, I swear by the Society of the Steadfast, you will answer for your crimes.
The Steadfast. I thought you were willing to do what it took to end this war. Clearly, I was wrong.
Well... my job here is done. Do you think the necromantic cat down below, or I suppose the proper phrase would be, do you think the necrotic cat down below has any ability of speech? Well, next up.
What's the point of this?
Should we just go tell Lord Bacaro Valerius everything? Well...
You return alone? I take it the news is not good. Grenier and Denise were not just retainers. They were friends. The Steadfast shall miss them, and so shall I. Please, tell me what happened.
Or is that the least of your worries? But specifically, the retainers were killed by the men with no crest from the with orders, actually, from the Ascendant.
Grenier and Denise were helping arrange a banquet at Castle Nevere. Then they were to collect the supplies and return here. What could they have seen that would cost them their lives? The banquet is just to welcome our royal guests to the island.
Just a guess, but I take it that the men with no crests may be getting desperate for the location of any of the nobles that are missing. This note's from Grenier. He apparently had time to write a note before he went out fighting.
The Ascendant Order, plundering Steadfast supplies and killing our retainers. Damn. It was brave of Grenier to try to fight back, but foolish. The supplies weren't worth their lives.
For some reason, Lady Annabelle thinks there's a noble funding the Ascendant Order. And they do have a lot of coin. That could be from looting and raiding all the same. So,
So Lady Arabelle informed me. I hesitate to accuse anyone, but perhaps you should join me at Castle Navir. All the nobles of High Isle would be there, and if my retainers did see something at the castle, perhaps you can determine what that was.
Sure, actually. If they did see something incriminating at the castle and were returning with any kind of anecdotal evidence, then maybe we should go do the same.
Duchess Ilea of House Dufort is hosting the banquet. She's decided to go ahead and throw the party, even though our guests of honor are still missing. Go to Castle Navir's courtyard. Introduce yourself when you arrive. Be discreet, please.
Do you think the person throwing the party, the person who gave the entire reason for the nobles to come down to the island, hosting the whole thing, might be the one behind it all? I don't know any of the nobles. I mean, I'm basically pointing at everyone that you mentioned from this point on. But there is point to be made about the fact that the person hosting the event, and it's completely empty, because she's going to invite all of the nobles. All of the nobles would then know, oh, the king, queen, and prince are coming down. Everyone at that party is a possible suspect, not just the host. But the host is the one who arranged it. It does give her, like, +1 suspicion. Although it is kind of curious that she's holding the banquet without any guests of honor.
Duchess Ilea wants to project confidence, especially in light of the current situation. Rumors travel swiftly in the archipelago. The people need to believe we have things under control. I expected to pay a ransom and have the delegates back by now.
Are there any nobles that oppose the peace talks?
Ridiculous. No one opposes peace. It's just that some of the nobles questioned if this were the right time and place. Duchess Ilea, for example, didn't want to bring the mainland's troubles to High Isle. Not without hope our efforts would bear fruit.
Nobody opposes peace. Okay, tell that to the unmarried Dominion and that power grab in the Fourth Era. Did anyone else feel that way? Again, about the war.
Count Leonard of House Mornard enjoys brisk profits by supplying all sides in the war. He doesn't want that to end too abruptly, especially not in a way that makes Ilea and House Dufort look good. He detests that she decided to host the talks.
I suppose he's our first official suspect, although I am going to count Leah as part of that list. That would put them both as rivals, though. I'm sure they would rat each other out if we can find the right way to persuade one of them. So?
Rivals and partners. House Mornard built its wealth on trade. They rely on House Dufort ships to carry their goods. But the two families have long vied with each other for primacy. The Mornards resent the fact that the Duforts rule High Isle.
Last bit there. The Menards resent the fact that the Duforts rule the High Isle. It does sound awfully similar to a piece of script we read from the Ascendant Order, the Knights with No Rest. Huh?
My family has always believed we're a small society.
So we need to know about next mission. We need to talk to Lady Arabelle.
It's a shame the Ascendant Order got to Lord Baccaro's retainers before you could. What could they have seen that warranted their deaths? Perhaps we'll learn more at Castle Navir, although I'm certainly not in the mood for a party.
You know what would be the biggest and actually the most surprising plot twist of all? If Lady Arabelle is the person behind it all. I'm questioning everyone. I genuinely have no idea. And it's been a long time since I have played a puzzle or mystery game or any sort of story like this where I've actually felt like I could go in any direction. I don't think we'll be partying. Well,
And our missing guests of honor will no doubt be the main topic of discussion. This is a chance to listen, as well as ask questions. Make sure you speak to Alea Dufort, Demar Dufort, and John Menard. They'll be the most important nobles present.
They are the most suspicious.
Until we know more, I suspect everybody. But if any of the nobles are funding the Ascendant Order, I think it likely that it's one of the grand families of High Isle. That means House Dufort or House Menard. Either way, we'll know more soon.
Alright.
Alea is...
Off we go. The Castle Navia. And I feel like, despite only finishing off a chapter and a bit, even maybe less than a chapter and a bit, I wanna go gardening. What should we do? We could travel back to the Unfallen Bay. Do a bit more crafting. I wonder if the crafting grids are good.
Progress is slow, but steady.
Have a look. We're down to 20 out of 25 quests. Look at that. And... or... I accidentally deleted one that I don't know if I can get back. Was it the Imperial City? No, it wasn't. I don't know if traveling to those places gives you the quest back or if you're actually kind of screwing yourself over by abandoning main storyline quests.
Doing something with magic-y?
Which way is the castle? Further west? There's bound to be a portal stone over there, so we'll head to Castle Navia. Otherwise, we're gonna have to make the trip next time. I mean, I don't hate that idea. The premise of traveling is honestly one I don't mind.
Let's go fast. Don't mess with the street kids.
That dog. Does Ember like magic? You get... companions are so weird in this game. You get positives and negatives for almost everything. Yeah, okay, you can't build companions when they're at full health. Alright. What's over there? Just continue west. Sail. Pretty sure I don't have the DLC. Hey! That's the one flag isle. Or the one... I don't know. The all flags are... actually been over that before. What? You have to ford the river. One shot. Nice.
Big mistake.
Right. Well... Oh. Apparently the bridge is super far south. Where were we just at? Okay. We have gone the complete wrong way, then. Right. Hello, like that.
Ugh, fish creep me out. Weird little eyes, mouths. I hate looking at them.
I'm almost tempted just to keep you as a companion so you have to put up with me fishing in them. I'm gonna make Ember actually leave for a few days, purely based on fishing, aren't I? And we have saltwater, river, fowl, mountain. You cannot open a menu while an action is active because it cancels the action. Continue. Ooh, let me get that water too. With the shins. 17 bits of bait left. Let's see how far we can get. Alright, said Kazaga. Why don't you want to talk? Taki put down his mug of meat and just stared at his wife for a few seconds. Inventory is full. This didn't last very long. Make the livestock worth none. Better stuff worth none. Since we're not in a river and we're at a lake, I'll get rid of all my river betties. Oopsie daisy. Opens up a few slots. However, he could put down his mug of mead and just stared at his wife for a few seconds. Finally, grudgingly, because every time I have a conversation there, it flows in alphabetical order, just like I told you. I think the only way to stop it is not to talk at all. Why don't you just be imagining this? Said Kazaga patiently. It wouldn't be the first time you had an insane, paranoid delusion. Remember when you thought the royal battle mage of Blackmarsh was hiding behind every tree with lewd intent? Intent on making you, a middle-aged fat balding tailor, into his personal slave? You don't need to be ashamed, but it's Shale Goral's way to make it all a little crazy sometimes. If you go to the hill— Damn it, Kazaga, snarled Zaki and stomped out, slamming the door behind him. He nearly collided with Siasat, his neighbor. Excuse me, she said to Zaki's back. He clamped his hands over his ears as he stormed down the street, turning the corner to the tailor shop. His first customer was waiting out front, smiling widely. Zaki tried to keep his temper under control and took out his keys, returning the customer's smile. Fine day, said the young man. Gods, hollered Zaki, sending the young man flying with a well-placed punch and dashing away. As much as he hated to admit that Kazaga was right, it was evidently time, once again, for one of the healer's herbal cocktails. Arsu's Temple of Health, Mental... One second. Arsu's Temple to Health, Mental and Physical, was several streets north, an impressive obelisk. Alka, the chief herbalist, met him before he came in the hall. How are you today, Sasaki-san? I need to make an appointment with Tarsu, said Zaki in his calmest voice. Just one moment, let me see how his schedule works. Alka said, looking over his scroll. Is this an emergency? Find them, said Zaki and slapped his head. Why couldn't he say yes? Well, absolutely. For sure. Let's see, said Halka, frowning. The best I can do is next Midas. Would that work for you? Midas? Cried Zaki. I'll be a complete psychotic by Midas. Isn't there anything earlier? He knew what the answer would be before she said it. There was no alternative. In a way, he had forced a response. Tony had kept the conversation going until why? No, said Halka. I'm sorry. You want me to make the appointment? Zaki walked away, gritting his teeth. He wandered the streets, his head down to avoid all conversations. Until he looked up and discovered he had walked all the way to a wharf. A sweet breeze was blowing along the water and he took several deep breaths until he felt almost normal. When his temper cooled, he could think again. What if this alphabetical conversation wasn't a delusion at all? What if what he felt wasn't paranoia, but acute awareness? He knew it was the classic dilemma. Am I crazy? Or is there really something weird going on? Across the road, a shop called Paradox, featuring a display of herbs, crystal and vapors, trapped in orbs. The sign in the window read Mystical Consultations, sunrise to noon. It was worth a shot, though Zaki was dubious. The only people who generally came down the wharf for healing were stupid adventurers who didn't know any better. Incense burned in copious billows of pink and gold, obscuring and then revealing the clutter within. Khajjiit death masks glowered from down the walls, smoking censers hung by chains from the ceiling. The floor was a maze of bookshelves. At a well-worn table in the back, a small man wearing a headdress was tabulating the young lady's purchases. Okay, said the man. The total comes to 57 gold pieces. I threw in the restorative scale, conditioner for free. Just remember, the candle should only be lit after you invoke Goroflox the Unholy, and Mandrake Root does its best in partial shade. I pressed. Actually, apparently, what did I press? Oh, just one of those. Huh? What a minute. We'll get the heron in a second. I'm gonna continue reading our book. At a well-worn table in the back, a small man wearing a headdress was tabulating a young lady's purchases. Okay, said the man. Your total comes to 57 gold pieces. I threw in the restorative scale condition of the free. Just remember, a candle should only be lit after you invoke Goriflox the Unholy, and Mandarin fruit does its best in partial shade. The customer gave a quick, shy smile to Zaki and left the store. Please help me, said Zaki. Every conversation I hear or get involved in seems to be arranged alphabetically. I don't know if I'm going insane or if there are some kind of bizarre forces at work. To be honest with you, I'm normally a skeptic when it comes to your type of business, but I'm at the end of my rope. Can you do anything to make this madness end? Quite a common problem, actually, said the man, patting Zaki on the arm. When you get to the end of the alphabet, the conversations then go to reverse alphabetical order or start at the beginning of the alphabet. Reverse alphabetical order, said Zaki, correcting himself. Dang it. I mean, it starts from the beginning. All over again. I mean, agony. Can you call on the spirits and tell me, am I insane? So, Ricky, said the man with a reassuring smile, you don't have to. You're quite safe. Thank you, said Zaki, nodding. By the way, my name's Zaki, not Sariki. I'm usually close, eh? Said the man, patting Zaki on the back. My name's Octoplasm. Follow me, please. I think I have just what you need. Octoplasm led Zaki down the narrow corridor behind the desk. The two men pushed past dusty cabinets filled with strange creatures and liquids, past heaps of Neolithic stones, past stack after stack of mouldering leather books, into the dank heart of the store. There he picked up a small, squat, cylindrical drum and a book, and handed them to Zaki. Vampirism, Daedric possession, and withershin therapy, said Zaki, squinting his eyes to read the book in the gloom. What in oblivion does that have to do with me? I'm not a vampire, look at this tan. It's withershin therapy. How much will it cost me? Withershins, from the old Cyrodiilic withershines, means backwards, said Octoplasm in a serious tone. It's the art of reversing the direction of things in order to gain access to the spirit world, and break curses, cure vampirism, and trigger all manner of tropic healing. You know the story about the guy who was told that slaughterfish live in hot water, so he said, well, let's boil them in cold water. Xenophus, said Zaki instinctively, his brother having taken a rather esoteric upper-level course in Cyrodiilic philosophy as an elective in the Imperial College 31 years prior, and immediately wishing he hadn't said anything. What do you do with this cylindrical thingy? Octoplasm lit a candle and held the object over it so Zaki could see more clearly. Along the cylinder were narrow slits, and when Zaki peered into them, he saw a succession of old black and white drawings of a naked man leaping over boxes, one frame after the next. You spin it like so, said Octoplasm, spinning it counterclockwise over the candle, so the little naked man within seemed to bound backwards over the boxes. Apologies, I skipped the sentence. You spin it like so, said Octoplasm, slowly whirling the device clockwise, for the man within leapt over the boxes over and over again. It's called a zeotrope. Pretty neat, eh? Now you take it and start spinning it counterclockwise. While you're doing it, read this incantation I've marked in the book. Zaki took the zeotrope and began spinning it counterclockwise over the candle, for the little naked man within seemed to be bound backwards over the bones. The little naked man within seemed to be bound backwards over the boxes. It took a little coordination and concentration to keep whirling at a steady pace, but gradually, the man's awkward and jerky back jumps became more and more fluid, until Zaki could no longer see the individual frames flipping. It looked just like a little humanoid hamster on an endless reverse treadmill, While he continued to spin the zoetrope in one hand, Zaki took the book in the other and read the underlined passage. Zoetrope, counterspin, 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 all my life from the rut that it's in. I invoke the goddess Boethia. I invoke the goddess Boethia, Kinnereth, and Juresses to invert my potentially metaphysical crisis. My old life may have been rather pointless and plain, but I dislike the prospect of going insane. Make the pattern reverse by this withershin. Zoetrope, counterspin, counterspin, counterspin. As he chanted the spell, Zaki noticed that the little naked man in the zoetrope began to look more like himself. The mustache vanished and the hairline receded. The man's waistline expanded and the buttocks sagged to the shape and texture of a half-inflated balloons. Scales approximating his own Argonian pattern appeared. The man began to trip as he bounded backwards over the boxes, taking deeper and deeper breaths and sweating. By the time Zaki reached the end of his incantation, his twin was clutching his chest and tumbling end over end with the boxes in a freefall. Octoplasm took the zoetrope and the book from Zaki's hands. Nothing seemed to have changed. No thunder had rumbled. No winged serpents had sprung out of Zaki's head. No fiery explosions. But Zaki felt something was different. Good different. Normal. The counter when Zaki pulled out his satchel of gold pieces. Octoplasm merely shook his head. Our treatment radical, such of effects term long of the what sure can't we naturally charge no. Feeling for the first real relief he had in days, Zaki walked backwards out of the shop and down the road to his tailoring store. It's such a tragic story, but it really does actually sit in one of my highest treasured books I've read in the Elder Scrolls franchise.
A traveler? Over here! I can't go in there alone.
Well, I'm not following you. I'll be back later. I need to head west. Speaking of, that's this way. You think we can go around the cave? Try this way. Oh, it's dead. That one's not. I think we need at least a free inventory spot to make fish craft, don't we? Yeah. We'll just eat the roast pig. Why does... hang on, no. Why does that need 2 free slots of inventory space? I'll take the low-level melon jelly, sure. Let's get rid of all the fish. I also have a provisions pack and a couple of other things in here too.
So cruel
stand.
Did I not have another container? Master writs and crafting writs might be two different things. That's probably why I'm getting bug rule experience, because I'm not taking the right writs. Oh! Well, that's not concerning in the slightest.
You live for now. Eventually, all will serve.
I'm gonna keep going west. Would I be concerned? Oh. I haven't had the chance to cast anything.
Spirit of water, help us! Quench this land! Lend me your strength! Quell this earth! I can't halt! It's up to you! Slay the beast!
Now not loading is a really weird bug I don't know how to fix.
Well done!
Hey? I wasn't watching my health, but why is it so laggy?
Great work. But questions still remain. I shall return to my order and report all that has happened. Until we meet again.
Okay. What was that about? Again. Very quick.
while I seal the fissures!
Okay.
Atronach! You cannot let them reach the fissures! They'll accelerate them! Spirits of the earth, help repair these vents. Great work! Ifra, lend me your strength! Quell this earth! That's it! We're almost there! Spirit of water, help us! Quench this lab! The small vents are sealed. I'll close off the main one.
I still haven't got all my stuff from whatever that happened last time. I didn't realize I was even new. Oh, okay. I'm just not able to keep up. Something feels shitty here. I was full health and I looked away for like 2 seconds and then I died. I can't tell if I'm just taking infinity damage out of nowhere and... I don't know if I have my companion.
Well done! Now's our chance! I'll seal the fissure for good!
Right.
Great work, but questions still remain. I shall return to my order and report all that has happened. Until we meet again.
Do you want to research something? Just with that. Companion shield. Give it to them. Maybe I'll get rid of my baits. That's 3 slots free. Focus. Oh, bait. What's membrane? How do I merchant for gold? Add rid of. So do I merchant for gold? It's apparently not. Maybe we should just get rid of it. I can't figure out where to sell them. They're worth 100 gold, but yeah. There's no point if you're just gonna permanently keep them. All but one spot. Few plain pieces of armor. What if you scare it? I know I can bounce stuff in the mail system, but helps force me to let go of some things that I shouldn't have anyway. Well, that doesn't bode well for chaos that we're gonna get in the dungeons. If I'm able to just... I mean, it could be me not paying attention for half a second and being underleveled. But if all it takes is just the game saying I took 1 billion damage out of nowhere, I don't really think there's a way I can counter that. Do I have any alchemical ingredients I can eat? No. Well, it's a chapel here. But at the very least, you always sure.
I heard the daughter is so distraught she's refusing to leave her rooms. So exciting.
Scandalous. No doubt Isabel is beside herself. Poor girls.
Let's head back to Gonfalon Bay. Put some stuff in our bank. We have a bit more storage. I do kind of want to push for a storage slot or two. But I feel like this is as good a place as anyone to end it. I'm a little more worried about going into daily raids now though.
I saw it myself. The light at Gonfalon Head went out right around the same time as that storm. 3 rogue knights threatened the keeper.
Hot and steamy today, Gwenagith.
I took this job to see what people want to store. So, what do you want to store, eh?
Oh, wrong way. Is full. Maybe I should start selling some of these foods that I'm not planning on eating. I mean, a lot of it is crafting. I could just empty the bank by crafting some stuff. Put the food up in the guild bank, honestly. Yeah, even if the food's kind of weak. There might be a couple of other low-level players that could do with low-level food. Might be more knowledgeable in what to do with it than I ever would. Invigorating. Health and stamina recovery rate. Seems super good. What do I have? I know it's in my bank. I have to get it out of my bank to use it. I have a clothing research immediately thingy. Raiden, welcome in. We've had a mix-up of a day. We've done a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic today, which is what we normally do Saturdays, with Tone Dust, Flicky, and Valley. But I wanted to finish up a couple of quests. We were at... What's the name of the manor? Steadfast Manor or something? With Lord Bacaro Valeris. Loris, I think his name is, but I wanted to get that quest sorted out as well. I will admit I was wrong. I thought it sounded like an affliction from the major Hermaeus Mora, but it turns out it was just vampirism. Actually, anything too crazy. Have you already known healthy? Right. So once you've researched something, that's it. Is that then used down here? Right, antimony. So that's what the trait system is. Got it? And I assume... the level... Okay, so the amount of materials and the level of the item affects the... Wait. I guess means it doesn't actually matter. At what point you harvest the research from? Some of these, like a lot of these items come in sets, and I do get very... Usually I'm very cautious using up anything from the set. But I feel like they're common enough that you run into them more than once. Clothing patterns. Litter. Frost. Lightning Star of Frost is a conundrum. Why can't we research that? Lightning Star of Frost. Yes? It's an enchantment, not a trait. There's no confirmation. It keeps catching me off guard. I expect there to be like a "Are you sure you want to do this?" moment, but there isn't. We can... wait. Defending. Increase physical and spell. Why not? Don't have any blue grade. Do you have any of these we don't know? Honestly, I might sell the stamina one. Spell harm. Magic or regen? Raise. Drink. Please.
Jejora, Makoma, Jejota.
Ooh. I know this is very greedy, but Allows the use of superior blue aspect runestones. I thought I already had that ability. I swear. Wait. Is aspect the circle or the triangle? I swear I've used the blue circle. I'd go for potency 4. I know I have a couple of potency 4. Ah, this is so greedy. This is so terribly, terribly greedy. That it fine, maybe? Okay. This is what we can use. We have 7 health. Find out.
Edode, Oko, Jejota.
Lower.
Edora, Oko, Jejota.
Boost.
Jaira, Oko, Jejota.
Advance.
Jade, Oko, Jejota.
Duck.
Odra, Oko, Ta. Pojode, Oko, Ta.
Diminish. There are so many of these stones that seem like they have the same implications. Supplement. Just bad. Just the one?
Deni, Ta.
Well,
Pojode, Deni, Ta. Ode, Deni, Ta.
I suppose this thing, the aspect rune stone, is what actually does strength of the craft. Although some of these are super expensive, so I don't know if the more expensive squares ever give us anything more crazy later on.
Edora, Deni, Ta. Edode, Deni.
Still, we're not hurting for the ability to acquire things, we're hurting for space right now. I kinda want to use one of those magicka recoveries on something. Could have got anything new. Did I use up all the greens? Not the... using up the other? Whiskey? I'm gonna stop making level 1 foods. Rather the ingredients go towards something else. Say that though. That'll do. We'll go put the rest of our stuff in the... Have I mixed them before? I know that the effects are known, but I would like to know if I've made certain combinations before. When looking for things like new recipes, I need to know if there's untested or tested recipes. Ravage health, cowardice, ravage health. Okay. Oh, it says not react. I should have read. Let's leave him. We've got 5 spare quests we can take on.
When it's slow around here, I read. Mostly romance.
Of 25 spare spaces. We can sell all that stuff. I think most of the stuff that I read we can put in the bank. Apparently I'm wrong, but it was meant to stack. And we can sell the rest. Why do none of my enchantments ever work? Brittle molten rock, bronze banded sunfish, foul hide, homespun jack, maple sheep, grain, silver bream, supple fruit. As for the rest, We did say we were going to... I feel like we could turn the fishy sticks. I mean, it's not a lot of gold, but the level 1 stuff that we're cooking is a... sort by value. A 100 chicken is worth 100 gold. And it's level 1 food. So... you know what? We're just gonna sell the weapons. Food we will keep for later. The Lightning Staff of Frost was actually one I wanted to move on to when my enchantment ran out on the other weapon. I wonder if that one can... Hang on. No, I couldn't. I can't enchant it in the store. We'll keep it then. Light armor. Yeah, Argonian armor. 190 magicka versus both. I might actually use the new girdle. Shield using armor. Is this stress amulet? $1,000 maximum health. But it's 2 rings, right? Or 133 recovery. Then we can switch out that stamina recovery. Ooh. I think I'm fine. The Broken Soul set is character bound. I don't know if scrapping and selling these things is a bad idea, but I like... No, I want that. A ring. Like, if I get rid of that, is there it's character bound, so I can't even put it in my bank.
You would not believe.
That makes me wonder what you do with those sorts of items besides sell them. There must be a way to get them back somehow. Well,
Oh, good. Am I in trouble?
lightning staff or shield with no primary weapon. We're sticking with the staff. Well, I think I need to get something to eat and drink and get out of this chair for a minute. I'm gonna call it there. We can continue the story of High Isle. Probably not tomorrow, we've got the reverse boss fight. Depending on what Warlock wants to do, if he's online.
That's not a stew pot, it's my laundry.
If we get some free time, maybe we can actually outside. Scrolls tomorrow, but I'm already like cutting off my own sentences and dawdling, so we're just gonna wait. I thank everyone who come in. I think you turned us with a raid. Who even plays raided as well 7 hours ago? And all the people lurking in the meantime, and everyone who's coming to say hello. Let's see if we can find anyone to actually raid off to, shall we? Apparently. That work? No. There's no way to sit in the chair and tap. Nope. Alright. I tried. Let's have a look. We have Tidbits playing more Destiny, Harrow VT playing Just today, Science Chan, Valheim Permadeath, Dark Raiden is on Elder Scrolls Online, and I don't actually remember the last time I raided Dark Raiden. Maybe we'll head over and say hello to Dark Raiden. She's about to be doing some daily normals. They're full, so I've missed my possible entry there, but we'll send Dark Raiden some love. I think it's been a couple of days since I've raided. A week, possibly a month. Time is wibbly wobbly sometimes, and you forget what. If you prefer the global emotes, we have global emotes. Never mind, Bouncer's on holiday. Bouncer. Bouncer. Bouncer? Where is he? Take two. If you prefer the global emotes, we have a generic raid message. If you prefer to spend 100 channel points, you can grab this one. The animated one, unfortunately, can't be grabbed. But I do have, oh my lord, Stinky Glitch. Not mean Stinky Cheese. Stinky Glitch is emote. I do love Stinky Glitch. Having that in the center of that raid message would be perfectly fine. I've only got 10 seconds left, so I'll see you over in Dark Raiden's chat.
These young red tails are nearly full grown, and they are learning to fly.